Hello, I'm Doris Esenarro, and today I'm going to talk the investigation created by me and my college that is called Systemic Vulnerability of the Huancaro-Santiago Ecosystem Cusco. The investigation is divided in 6 parts: introduction, study area, methodology, results, discussion, and conclusion. Introduction. The investigation have demonstrated that the earthquake faults, like those found in Cusco, produce superficial earthquakes less than 70 kilometers. They are deep and, because they are not very damped, are of significant magnitudes. The city of Cusco is located near the geological megastructure known as the Abancay deflection. Due to this fact, its structures are oriented on one side of NWSE and EW, also to the recent tectonic activity. Many of these fault structures are active: Tamboyachay, Coricocha, Pachatuzán, Paruro, Urco, Surite, Abancay, etc., which means that active faults surround Cusco are the closest to the city is the Tamboyachay Fault, only 12 kilometers from the city. Study area. You can see in the map, in one side is the Cusco city, and in the back is the map of the Huancaro microbasin population density and level of systemic vulnerability. According to the agreement shows the delimitation of the vulnerable zones according to their levels of risk, with a design earthquake of 7 degrees of magnitude in highly dynamic soils, even with some like evacuation zones. Vulnerability to earthquakes in the Huancaro microbasin is quite high, 75%. Methodology. The research we have specialized or thematic mapping, geomorphological, geological, land use, urbanization areas, monitoring of satellite image, historical data of the origin, growth of urbanization in the last 30 years, statistical data of population and areas of urban expansion, sociocultural aspects, etc., hydrometeorological data, was used. And finally, the physical vulnerability of the building was surveyed. The city of Cusco and the current town of Cusco and the city of Cusco, the population explosion in recent years has increased alarmingly. In the study area did not have flat land surface, was rugged terrain, had diverse geomorphology, and had elevation, slopes, orientation, stratifications, rock formations, soil types, etc., which is why the research took an additional time as in Figure 2. The Figure 2 is the map of Huancaro microbasin population density and level of systemic vulnerability. Results. This is the image of the excavation of the soil. In the picture, you can see the rocks, sandstones, shales, and conglomerates. In the photo of the right, you can see the soils of the urbanized areas of Huancaro. Consequently, the destabilization of the slopes, large movements of soil and rocks observed that will not be transported very far from the macrobasin. In the table 6, that is the distribution of slopes in the Huancaro microbasin, from the slopes, it can be concluded that 36.54% of the study area in moderate steppe, with a slope ranging from 50 to 25%, 20.23% in between steppe, and only 1.75% of the relief is moderate steppe, with the slope ranging from 4 to 8%. It is located in a high mountain region. Discussion: the natural phenomena of internal geodynamics characterize the area of Cusco high to medium seismicity. So it should take the knowledge of these facts and take preventive measures in the occupation of territories sustainable for construction and construction of buildings with anti-systemic criteria. This can be achieved with the geothermal zoning, seismic, geological zoning, geodynamic zoning, etc. In the last 44 years, the trend of the index of climatic extremes of accumulated precipitation in a year has increased at an average rate of 3.3. The daily intensity of precipitation shows increase and 1 millimeter in the period of 1965 to 2008, also reported in the increase in the intensity of maximum temperature. In the last 10 years, the intensity of extreme frost have also increased, although it is estimated that the variation of extreme precipitation towards the year 2030 will not vary much with the current ones. Further studies are needed to provide more reliable data. High natural and induced erosion in poorly compacted soil or recent excavation by constructions, the result of urbanization on steep slopes and unstable terrain, is first and foremost an area of high vulnerability. It is an area of the low quality of life. It is an area with too low an index of development in all respect. It is an area where no concept of development is applicable. And finally, the conclusions. The Huancaro microbasin is located in a high mountain zone between the geomorphological units of the Meso-Cenozoic highlands and the Ernst Cordillera to the north. It is an area of high geodynamics and also vulnerable to climate change. Hydrological the main characteristics are rainfall regimen typical of tropical areas, with a period of rainfall and another of low water, respectively. The rainiest month in the last 37 years in January, with 195.9 millimeters. The month of lesser precipitation, June, with 2.49 millimeters. In the last 40 years, January 2010, with 355 millimeters. Its hydrographic system is characterized by two main collectors, the Huancaro and the Choco rivers. Extraordinary rainfall can cause natural disaster in the urbanized areas of Huancaro. The natural rivers are artificial, filled with cotton and rubbish from the urbanization. Thank you very much.